All right, it's showtime. We are live. I really hope it's going out to Facebook because I have no idea. So, do any of you have any? Well, here we are. So we're going to pretend everybody is looking at us now.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's on Facebook.
It is great. So I am Sonia Plumb, artistic director of Sonia Plumb Dance Company, and of course, if you're joining us, you know that. With me is William Roberson and Myles Hunter. They are two of the dancers who started the Dance of Da Vinci 2.0 rehearsal process back at the beginning of March, and then everything hit and I had to send them home. And I was very, very sad about that. We didn't get to finish, but we will. So what I wanted to share with you what we did in the rehearsal studio, and I want you to hear it from their point of view because I know what happened. So before we do that, could you guys talk a little bit about yourselves, like who you are, where you came from, a little bit of your background? We'll start with you, William.
Okay.
Will.
Hi, I'm William. My background is I started dancing when I was in college. My sophomore year, I went to Howard University in DC. Graduated in 2013. I apprenticed with Ronald K. Brown, Camille Brown. I have currently employed with Deeply Rooted Dance Theater in Chicago, Illinois. I have worked at the Metropolitan Opera for Porgy and Bess. I have worked at Shakespeare in the Park. I'm a versatile dancer, so that's background. This project, I got in touch with Sonia through a mutual friend, Marlena Locklear. She is a dear friend. We danced together in Deeply Rooted, and she reached out to me at the last moment, and I thankfully had nothing planned. So I came, rushed over, and I'm happy I did. So here I am.
Yay. And I was so excited that he was able to join us. Unbelievable. Okay. So we're now going to go on to Myles.
Hi. So my name is Myles Hunter. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. I started dancing, I think this is like 14 years. This is my 14th year, I think. And I started in musical theater. So I did a lot of musicals, a lot of just commercialized dance. Being in the LA culture of dance, I think it's way more commercial. And then I think in high school, I began to switch over to more classical training. So that was a lot more ballet classes, a lot more technical modern classes. And then I got into Juilliard, trained there, again, another classical program. And I graduated recently, May 2019. So I've been a year out and just kind of I've done some commercial work. I've done some off-Broadway work. I've taught in Africa several times. And I just teach whenever I'm not working in a show. So I try to keep busy, I think, is always my mantra, to keep busy is the best way to stay. And yeah, I got into this project I think I saw a post on one of the audition websites and I was like, oh, this sounds cool. Why not? Let's try something new. So that's me in a quick wrap up.
Nice. Yay. So I was so thrilled I'm so thrilled to be working with both these gentlemen. So Myles, actually, and I did a fair bit of the new dancers just through video audition. I had lots and lots of auditioners. I turned away many. And so that was actually been my not first, it's actually the third time that I've reached out through the virtual world to find dancers and to be able to look at them and really understand. I've gotten instinctively better at knowing who I can work with, as well as being able to look at the technique. And then also their performance reels are getting you can tell, you can really understand, you can, if they've really put thought into what they've done, then I get to work off of that. So really, I didn't meet Myles. I met him, and the first time we worked together was in the rehearsal studio. So well, Same with Will.
Yeah.
So anyways, we are now going to show you. So I will be changing to video. So they were learning a lot of movement from past when I started working. Premiered this almost 2 years ago now at the Bushnell in Hartford, and since then, I have worked 2 years more on the project, having gone twice to England and London, once to do research, and once I even got to see 200 of Leonardo's original drawings. That's given me a wealth of information, and I also knew I wanted to dig deeper into the dance and what the dancers could do. So this is what I'm going to show you is a section called Appetite. And I do want to preface before I show it, and again, it's going to be in the rehearsal studio, is that 3 of the new sections that I wanted to create that weren't in the original version are Lust, Appetite, and Death. Thus the talk of Lust, Appetite, and the Dance of Da Vinci. So this is a Da Vinci quote, just to whet your appetite. Lust is the cause of generation. Appetite is the support of life. Fear or timidity is the prolongation of life. And fraud, the preservation of its instrument. So we are now going to go to Myles and Will. Do I call you Will or William?
Yeah, either one.
In the rehearsal studio, and then they're going to talk about the process. All right, so I'm changing over to, oh, hang on. Oh, man. All right, technical glitch. Is this going to go? Oh, wait. I have to share screen. So hang on. Ah, crud. So I knew this was going to happen. I worked it out earlier. Oh, here we go. Wait a minute. Rat. All right. I wanted my entire screen. Sorry. I got this bigger earlier. Now I don't know how to do it. I hope you can see it.
No. Well, in the meantime, we could talk about what the process was like. And
Yes.
I know for me, it was a little bit challenging because in some of the movement, I was challenged not to use my hands, and the movement had to be inspired or.
Can you see it though, guys? I can't tell if it's sharing or not. Is it not sharing?
Not on my end.
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm sorry. All right. So. All right. So I'll try that again in a minute. I really did work it out earlier. So why don't you go ahead, Will, and talk about it?
Okay. Well, it was, like I was saying, it was just a challenge not to use my hands, and then also relying on Myles, because he was my partner, to be the reason why I was moving and not being manhandling in a sense. So like, it was very fun. It was very challenging. It was like me being a big kid. Wow, I have so much noise. I'm so sorry. I definitely enjoyed just the intimacy of being able to work with a small cast, 1, and 2, having the freedom to explore movement the way I wanted to, while also being given a context and a directive.
Thank you. Yeah. So I didn't hear the. I don't know if I really want to show the video. So I will figure it out maybe in a bit. But one of the tasks I gave Will was that he wasn't allowed to use his hands. And he had to want to do what Myles was doing.
I should.
Yeah. So, yeah, and Myles was walking on his hands in a handstand. Will, you weren't allowed to do that.
No hands. So it was definitely a challenge, but it was worth it because it was fun because I had to explore using my body using it in a different way that I'm used to.
Right.
And also just being able to play around with someone else in the studio too was fun.
Yeah. I remember saying to you, you can't look pretty. Please stop pointing your feet. I'm not sure I said please, but I did say stop pointing your feet.
Yeah, I innately always try to make myself look presentational.
But it all depends what the choreographer wants, right?
Right, correct. So I had to give what the direction was, and she said not to look pretty. So I said, "You want sickled feet? I'll give you sickled feet."
There we go. Cool. All right, Myles, your point of view. I'm going to put you up.
I think the point of view for me, and I think just being a partner in general, especially because I think I had the advantage using my hands. I think it was just harder for me to not want to do so much so that he didn't have to struggle as much in a way. Not if that makes any sense. I don't know. Like I didn't want to give too much so that it became too big of a task. Or I think if it was me and if I had to do it without hands, what enough was and what too much was in a way. I think also working with just a guy instead of in a partnering sense, working with a guy instead of a female is just a bit. You get a different energy, which I enjoy both energies, but I think you just get a different energy, and you're able to, in the same sense of I wanted to make sure he was taken care of. There's also a sense of I push the boundaries a bit more, just because there's a common set of tools we're both working with at the time. I think one of the challenges throughout any process of restaging work is also learning from video and learning not picking up the same habits that the previous cast did and also trying to make it your own. I think that was a big thing that I had to keep reminding myself, this is just a blueprint. This is not the set, what we have to do. And I think everybody can attest to that. It was, you have to look at the video, say, okay, this is what they did, but how can I differentiate what was done? How can I maybe elevate it because I think it wasn't performed recently. So how can we now take it and make it something new and not just something that was seen previously, if that makes sense?
It does make sense. Hang on, I want to switch this out. I think the challenge for me was, well, there were a couple different challenges. Is one, I knew I wanted more clarity in certain places of the dance that I felt weren't finished or tweaked. In that particular dance, I feel like I had a lot more freedom because I had started with apprentices and with some very basic and simple tasks. And I shouldn't say simple, but direct tasks, because they weren't, without hands isn't that simple. And so resetting it also proved exciting because now I had these two non-apprentices, very able and well trained dancers that I could now push it to another level. And that could become, the characters that I really wanted to see come out of them. Right. Yeah. And I think in other sections of the dance, there might not have been quite that much freedom. But this is one of the ones that I really did enjoy. I'd like to at this moment, let's see, trying to see the time here. I'd like you to speak a little bit about your training and why it's, I'd like you to speak about it, why it's important. I'm just looking over my notes. Why training and the depth of it and what it brings to a dancer and what it brings to the stage.
Okay.
Myles, your turn. You went.
I can start. I think for me, and it took me a while to get here. I think for me, training is more of a place to leave from and a place to go when you need to check back in with your body. I think I've trained in almost every genre, whether it's classical Indian to classical Chinese, ballet, several moderns, several contemporary styles, improv styles. But I think, for me, anytime that I feel like there's an injury coming, I go straight back to the basics of like ballet and modern just to give that body that realignment. And I think most dancers can agree that when you have that foundation of your technical learnings, it's easier for you to try different things and it's safer and you have more information to not injure yourself. I know like injuries that I got when I first started to dance are not the same injuries I'm getting from now. And I think that's the biggest thing you can see as a dancer. If you keep getting injured, if you keep injuring the same part of your body, or if you keep having the same issues, that means you have to go back into your training and figure out what's not working, what is working. Because training, although training is very much a universal thing, everybody has a different body, so you have to figure out what part of your training you can how you can make the training work in your body. And I think I learned that a lot in college. Like, although we're given the same amount of information, it's all about how your body can interpret it in a safe way, and by safe I mean in a way that's productive for you, and not looking at the other person going, they are doing that, this is what they're doing, why can't I do that? And focusing more on, this is what my body can do, this is what I'm able to do, and look at it more in a positive way. And yeah, I think that's my belief in training, is just everybody doesn't have to be, the 180 turnout, the perfectly pointed feet. It's more about your intent, I think your intent and your devotion to your training that makes the dancer. And if you want it easy, then that's usually the first way you get injured, is by going the easy route. And I don't suggest the easy or quick route. It's not quick, it's not easy. It takes time, and it takes time and devotion. I think that's what makes dance like dance worthwhile, when you get to that place where you can perform professionally and you can, you have the joy of feeling that you've accomplished something. I think that's my takeaway from my training.
Nice. Okay. I'm going to put you up, Will.
I was like,
yeah. Just short and sweet. And think of it in terms of, the School of Sonia Plumb Dance is opening late June. We're going to start recruiting students, and why, and we're also going to be offering 23 scholarships to Hartford youth. So why is it important? Why is this training important? Why are these scholarships important?
I'll go with the scholarships first. The scholarships are important because one, it shows how hard you've worked if you do get the scholarship, how hard you've worked, and how it paid off. The second thing is, it really does help those who are not able to maybe financially commit to the program. So I think this is a very good initiative, and it's a very good opportunity for those who want to continue their training and/or start their training. As far as the training in itself, everything that Myles said rings true. I know for me, training became more of a lifestyle than it did become like something that I did. we often think that, you know, we go to class, we get our technique, whether it's ballet, African, Indian, Chinese, like we go to get this nourishment, and then that's the end of it. Like after that class, it's like, okay, we can do some things on our own. No, actually, we can continue that work. It's the work that you do outside the studio that really fine tunes what actual kind of dancer you are. And it's all great to have the facility. It's all great to have the ankles, the toes, all of that. But if you don't know how your body moves through space, if you don't know exactly what it is that makes your body do what it does, then all your training goes out the window. And to me, that I feel like that's just a waste of your time, and you don't want to do that. So, as a professional, I think it's key to always, like Miles said, go back to the basics. Always go back to what it is where it is that you started, so you can really fine tune those things that you maybe weren't so strong in before, or that you kind of lost track of during your whatever you're doing, like performing or touring, whatever. So, yeah, that's it.
Nice. Hang on. Nice. Both gorgeous words, and very wise. So I am going to, at this moment, I'm going to again try to, I really want to make this work. So while I'm going to try to pull up that video again, why don't you can each talk about maybe one of the sections that, you know, we're not showing that you really resonates with you. So I'm going to now go, let's see if we can I'm going to take myself out. Oh, except I don't know how to do this. All right, so I'm not being very good about it. So you guys are going to talk. I gotta figure this out. I'll figure it out better for next time. I promise, for those of you who are out there. I did do it earlier and it's driving me crazy.
Well, let's see. As far as a favorite section of the works, I think I really like Vitruvian Quartet. That's the one where I really feel like we all like you get a whole good mix of styles of dance inside of that. So
yeah, okay, cool.
Or, you know, just ways of moving your body through space. I'm not going to say of dance, because dance is relative, and I think people's perspective on dance depends on like where you come from. So, for some people, this could be dance, this could be a work study, this could be research. You know, it's just ways of moving the body.
Oh, cool. All right, Miles.
I would say, well, I think I enjoyed Storks was probably my favorite, just because I think that was the one that had the biggest storyline. I think that's true. Of the ones we learned, I think Storks and or Storks and Sarcophagus, I think like they're right there for me. Yeah. I think Storks, there was like a full, you know, you follow characters, you saw, you know, it kept the eye bouncing around. And I think for Sarcophagus, I almost would love to see personal dance on stage, and it seemed like something very personal and something that you look at. I think when I first watched it, it's something you look at, you experience, and you maybe go back and watch it again because you need to maybe realize what you saw.
Right.
Because it seems like that personal, that maybe the first story you got the first time might not be the second story you got. So yeah, I feel like that one was like probably top of the list for me.
Sarcophagus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Isn't it good? Yeah, I love that piece. Audiences love that piece. Yeah. I love Vitruvian Quartet too. So next time, there's a quote that I'll have to share with that. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm not going to try to quote it yet. We're getting, I'm not going to be able to figure this share screen thing out again efficiently. So I'll do it for next time. I think we'll wrap up here. So join us next week. We are going to have the ladies on, and I will have figured the screen thing out. And then I think on our third session, maybe we'll have all of us, and we'll go from there. But I am super excited that I got to talk with these gents again.
Of course, it's fun.
Yeah, and my brain is going like, oh, they have just enough room to do a tiny bit of dancing right where they are. Yeah, because Will, I mean, Will was like,
I'll give you
right
up against the wall.
I don't know, gesture dance. We'll see,
Yeah.
but cool. So, thank you all. Be safe, be well, and we'll do it again. See you soon.
See you
See you
guys.
soon.
Okay, I'm ending recording and I'm going to save it and all that good stuff. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.